Okay, extensive properties. Any properties magnitude is totally depends upon the amount of matter present on a system is known as extensive properties. Or also we can define extensive properties are those properties whose values depends upon the size or amount of matter present in the system. They are additive in nature. For example, mass, volume, internal energy, enthalpy, entropy, number of moles, etc. Or also we can define extensive properties are those thermodynamic properties that depend on the quantity or size, mass of the system. When the amount of matter changes, the value of an extensive property also changes. Characteristics directly proportional to mass or volume of the system, additive value of the whole system equal to sum of its parts. If the system is divided into two equal parts, the property also divided equally, not independent of the system size. For example, mass doubles if system doubles. Volume B depends on the amount of substance. Internal energy, total energy of system depends on quantity. Enthalpy depends on system size. Entropy increases with the amount of matter. Number of moles, more matter, more moles. Total heat Q, heat content proportional to mass. Okay, entropy, yes, increases with amount of matter, number of moles, and more matter, more moles. Total heat Q, heat content proportional to mass, gives free energy G, extensive nature, momentum P depends on total mass, total charge Q directly proportional. Mathematically representation, if a system with extensive property X is divided into two substances, 1 and 2, X is X1 and X2, for example, if 10 kg is divided into equal parts, 5 kg, 5 kg, intensive properties, any properties whose magnitude does not depend on the amount of matter present on the system is known as intensive properties. Or also we can define intensive properties are those thermodynamic properties that do not depend on the amount or size of the system. Their value remains unchanged even if the system is divided into smaller parts. Also, we can define the intensive properties are those thermodynamic properties which do not depend on the amount of matter present in the system. Their value remain constant if the system is divided into smaller parts. For example, temperature, pressure, density, viscosity, refractive index, concentration, etc. Characteristic independent of mass and quantity, not additive. Same for the whole system and its part remain constant when the system is divided. Property temperature remains same on division. Pressure P does not depend on the volume. Density P same for the same sample portion. Concentration independent of mass. Surface tension. Intrinsic property, viscosity, property of fluid, refractive index, independent amount. Specific capacity per unit mass, specific volume, volume per mass, specific enthalpy per unit mass, specific internal energy per unit mass, specific Gibbs free energy per unit mass, molarity, normality, concentration based. Many intrinsic properties are derived by the dividing the extensive property by mass or moles. Volume divided mass becomes intrinsic property. Specific volume, internal energy divided mass, specific internal energy. Enthalpy divided mass, specific enthalpy. Entropy divided mass, specific entropy. Difference between extensive and intensive properties. Difference dependence of amounts of matter. Intensive, if does not depend, intensive. Additivity, additive, extensive, not additive, intensive. For example, mass, volume, energy, extensive properties, temperature, pressure, density. If the system double, values also double, extensive properties. Value remains same. Symbol and names are usually uppercase, usually lowercase. Okay, it's all about intensive properties and extensive properties. Thanks for watching and request you all like, comment, share, and subscribe. Thank you for patience. That is now bye bye. See you again.